In today's class, I'm going to take proportionality theorem. This is the standard m dot g dot srt dot bo4. Purpose of the day. I want you to read it on your own. Okay, I'll read it. I will learn to understand and apply proportionality theorem and its converse. What is proportionality? Proportionality. In math, equality between two ratios, we call that one as proportionality. A proportion is an equation that shows two equivalent ratios. For example, let me take, say, some 12 over 20 equals to, I can divide both these values by 4, right? So if I divide by 4, I'll end up 4 threes, 4 fives. So here 12 over 20 equals to 3 over 5, right? So this one forms a proportion. So if two ratios are equal, then that forms a proportion. Then what is proportionality theorem? The triangle proportionality theorem states that if a line is parallel to one side of a triangle and it intersects the other two sides, then it divides these two sides proportionally. Here is an example. By proportionality theorem, I see that BC is parallel to DE. Therefore, a line is drawn parallel, and if I consider that this is my first side, that is AD is my first side, and AE is the second side, and this is third side. So I see that BC is parallel to the third side, then BC divides the other two sides in the same ratio, that is proportion. So here AB, which means triangle ABC, is one small triangle, and let me take the highlighted part. So here I see that triangle ABC is one small triangle, and ADE is the whole triangle. So I see the two triangles. So here AB over BD equals to AC over CE. And also you can take the other way also, like if I am taking the small triangle, which is AB, and the large triangle side is AD, equals to the small triangle side, which is AC, over the large or the big triangle side is AE, equals to the third side is BC over BC over the large triangle side is that is DE. Okay, let's do some problems on the whiteboard. So let's go to whiteboard. Well, this is the first problem. I see that QS is given parallel to UT. I see that these arrows are indicating that these two lines are parallel. Okay, so if these two lines are parallel, let's look at the question. The question is, what is the value of RQ? What is the value of RQ? So I'm taking, let me write the key point by proportionality theorem. Proportionality theorem, if the line is parallel, it divides the other two sides in the same ratio. So here QS is drawn parallel to UT. The other two sides means that is RU and RT are divided in the same ratio. Therefore RQ I may say that this is the upper portion over QU, that is the lower portion, equals to RS, that is the upper portion, and the lower portion is ST. Now let me plug in the values. RQ is not known, and QU, I see that 9 units equals to RS is 4 units, and ST is 6 units. In my last class, I discussed about the cross multiplication. So you take the cross multiplication method, that is with the denominator of the first one, I multiply the numerator of the second fraction. So 9 times 4 equals to 6 times RQ. Okay, so it is 9 times 4 equals to 6 times RQ. Now, think for a moment and compute the value of QR or RQ. Okay, I'll explain now how to get the value of RQ. Let's see whether the answer is correct or not. So next one, to isolate RQ, I go for inverse operation, which is division by 6 on both these sides. So 6 and 6 gets cancelled. RQ equals to 9 times 4. That gives me 36 over 6. The value of RQ equals to 6 units. Simple. Okay, now moving to the next question. Determine whether PS is parallel to QR or not. This is called as converse. What is converse means? When the statement is given and if you are checking backwards, that is called as converse. Let's read what is the proportionality theorem first. If a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle and intersects the other two sides, so I can say that this is the first part of the statement. Okay. Then the second part of the statement is then the line divides the other two sides proportionally. When it comes to converse, we read this part first, then we go to the first part, which means we read this way: if the line divides the other two sides of a triangle proportionally, then the line is drawn parallel. This is the converse statement. So we have to check whether these values are proportional or not. If these values are proportional, then obviously, PS, that is PS will be parallel to QR. So let's check whether these two lines are parallel or not. For that, we have to check whether are they proportional or not. So let me set up a proportion that is NS, that is maybe the upper part of the triangle over the lower part, which is SR. Let me plug in this number, 72 over 40, and the other side, NP over, and the lower part is PQ. Now let me plug in these values. So NP is 90 and PQ is 50. Okay, let me grab my TI-84 calculator and I'm computing. Even you also can compute 72 over 40. Okay, I computed. And next 90 over 50. I computed. I hope you also got the same values. I see that here I got 1.8 and here I got 1.8. So here these two are proportional. That means the ratios are equal. Okay, I see that these two are equal. So I'm writing backwards that these two are equal, these two are equal. Now, if two ratios are equal, then a proportion is formed. I see that these two are proportional. Therefore, if these are proportional, if these sides are proportional, then I can state that these lines are parallel. Yes, I can say that. Therefore, PS is parallel to QR. PS is parallel to QR. Okay, so this is a question and I proved it. Okay, let's go to the next question. Use the given diagram to find the missing value. I see that the value of x is missing here, the value of x. This is slightly tricky because AB and 9. So these values are to be compared. If I am taking by proportionality theorem, let's say that C is parallel to AB. How do you know? Means angle C equals to angle B and angle D. Or that is by reflexive property. If you want, I'll write it here in triangle DCE. I'm taking triangle DCE and triangle DBA. That is the whole triangle. I see that angle DCE, please remember at one particular point, if you have more than one angle, you have to use 3 letters. So I'm taking DCE, angle DCE equals to, here only one angle is there, so angle B. How do you know? Means it's given by markings. So angle equals to angle. And in both the triangles, I see that in the small triangle, I see that CDE are angle D, and in the large triangle, I see that ADB. These two are equal. Therefore, angle D equals to angle D. This is by reflexive property. So basically these two are parallel, these two are similar triangles by AA similarity. These two are similar triangles. Obviously then the sides are parallel. Okay, now let's see that by proportionality theorem, by proportionality theorem, if I take CE over AB equals to, I'm taking one side of the small triangle over one side of the large or the big triangle. So DE over EA, if you write this one, this is going to be for sure wrong. Because, DE is one side of the small triangle, but EA is not one side of the large triangle. Instead of this one, you have to take the whole, which is DA or AD, one and same. So, what is the value of CE? It is 9 units. AB is X units. DE 10 units. AD, if you take AD, that is the sum of these two values, which is 8 plus 10. Therefore, I get 9 over X equals to 10 over 18. Now you go for cross multiplication, and I want you to compute this one on your own. Well, now I will explain how to find the value of this. It is 9 times 18 equals to 10 times x. You know how to isolate x. We divide by 10 on both the sides. So 10 and 10 gets cancelled. 9 times 18. You can make use of calculator. Then I'm grabbing my calculator. It is 162 over 10, which is 16.2 units. That's the value of x. Then let's go to the next one. This is I can't say that a different theorem, but it is the extension of the previous one. If three parallel lines, this is not one parallel line, this time three parallel lines. In the previous one, you learned about drawing one parallel line, right? So this is almost same as the previous one. Let's see how come. Okay, so I'm taking, this is the proportionality theorem you learned. This is parallel to this one. Okay, now in the same way, I'm taking the other one, which is say that this one and this one. Just I'm drawing two lines. Let me draw again, maybe a little longer. Okay, and I'm taking 1, 2, and 3. Now here I'm drawing these three lines as parallel lines. Okay, so let me label them like this is AB is parallel to CD, parallel to EF. Okay, now this is almost same as the previous one. How come means let me draw a straight line using this one. Okay, now let me label them as X and Y. You know that in this triangle, let me take as ACE and XY. By proportionality theorem, you know that AC over CE equals to AX over XY, right? In the same way, in this triangle, I can take AC over CE equals to AX over XY, right? Now, I'm taking my highlighter and this is a parallelogram. You see that AB is parallel to XD and also AX is parallel to BD. In a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal means in the place of AX, I can take BD. You know, in a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. Therefore, in the place of AX, I can take, AX equals to BD and XY equals to DF. XY equals to DF. Now, if I bypass this one, I can say that AC over CE equals to BD over DF. Which means when three parallel lines are drawn, and they intersect two transversal, three parallel lines are intersected by two transversals, then these sides are proportional, which means AC over CE equals to BD over DF. Okay, so let's do some questions based on this theorem. So find the length of AB. So here AB means it is this one. So I see that this is first parallel line, this is second one and third one. These three parallel lines are intersected by two transversals. Therefore, I can make use of the theorem just now we learned. So let me clear off these numbers and let me take some letters like A here, oops, let me take A here. Come on. So this is A, this is B. Oh, already A and B are marked. So let me take maybe some P, Q, R, S. So PQ over QR equals to SA over AB. SA over AB. You know what the reason is. If three parallel lines are intersected by two transversal lines, the sides the sides are proportional. I mean, the segments whatever are formed proportional. So now let me plug in these values. The value of PQ, I see that 15 over 18 equals to 16 over x. You know that at this point we go for the cross multiplication and you can compute the value of x. So I want you to compute the value of x. Let's check the answer. 15 times x equals to 18 times 16, and we cancel out by dividing by 15 on both the sides. So the value of x equals to 18 times 16 over 15. Without calculator also you can compute 3 5s, 3 6, 96 over 5, 1, I guess 19.2, yes. Still let me check on the calculator. 96 over 5, oops, 96 over 5, yes, 19.2. That's the value of x. Now more questions to follow. This time multiple questions are there. Let me take that. You're asked to find the value of AG. I don't know place will be sufficient or not. I'll try my best. Okay. So here you are asked to find AG. So AG is here. Then I can compare with these two parts. Therefore, by proportionality theorem, of course, all these questions are to be solved by using proportionality theorem. So this is common for all the four parts. AG, I see that this is AG over FG. So AG over FG, maybe in layman's language I can say the upper portion over lower portion. This is how I think. So it is AB over BC. So AB over BC. Now plug in the values. AG I don't know. FG value is 4 units. Then AB it is 4 units and BC is 6 units. At this point you know that what to do. You have to go for the cross multiplication. Just I'm leaving it to you and I want you to compute maybe later time. So let me jump to the next part. Next part is ED. So let me use a different color. I love using different colors. ED. So where is ED? Oh, ED is this one. So if I want to find the value of ED, let me compare with the known side, which is BC. You can see I'm taking ED, that is one side of the large triangle. Then let me take one side of the other side of the large triangle, which is AD. Okay, AD. Let me clear just a minute. Yeah, it is AD over. See, earlier I have taken this GB value. Did I take GB? ED over BC. My bad, it's not BC, it is BG. Okay, so if I'm taking this small triangle, then I have to consider side of this one, which is AB. Once again, I'm repeating, like if I'm taking one side of the large triangle, that is, I'm taking these two sides, which is ED and AD. You can see the numerators. Then I'm taking the small triangle sides, that is GB and AB, right? So what is the length of ED means we don't know. You can consider it as X or let it be ED. What is the length of GB or BG means you can see that that is 3 units. What is the length of AD? Friends, this is the tricky part. I see that there are bits and pieces, so I have to take all the numbers into account, 4, 6, and 5. So it is 4 plus 6 plus 5 over AB. You see that it's 4 units. So it is AD over 3, 4 plus 6 plus 5, that gives me 15. 4 plus 6 is 10, then 10 plus 5 is 15 over 4. You know what to do next. So you have to go for cross multiplication, and the computation or the calculation part I'm leaving it to you. Okay, let me explain this part. ED times 4 equals to 15 times 3. That gives me 45. 4 times ED equals to 45. Then the next step is I have to go for the division by 4 on both the sides. Then I get ED equals to 4 11s are 44. Then it is 11.25. You can make use of a calculator. You'll end up with 11.25. The last one, last two, I want you to try on your own. Okay? Then let's go to the. Well, in real life scenarios, we use the proportionality. So here I'm taking an example. A farmer's land is divided by a newly constructed interstate. The distances shown are in meters. Find the distance CA. CA is this one between the north border and the south border of the farmer's land. So if I set up proportionality by proportionality theorem, proportionality theorem. So let me set up, I see that here these are parallel lines, parallel lines, parallel lines. So FE over, maybe the upper portion or lower portion, this is how I remember, FE over ED, FE over ED equals to the upper portion is AB and the lower portion is BC. AB over BC. Now just plug in the values. I think place may not be sufficient, so let me move this one all the way here. Okay, so FE is 2500, ED is 3000. You can see these numbers from the diagram. Then AB, I see that it is 2000 meters, and BC is not known. So let it be BC, or you can take X. As you know that we have to go at this point for cross multiplication. So when I go for cross multiplication, you know what to do. Okay, now let's compute 2500 times BC 3000 multiplied by 2000. You know, I personally prefer not to use calculator, so I'm dividing by 2500 on both these sides. These two gets cancelled. The value of BC equals to two zeros in the numerator, two zeros in the denominator. You know 5 table, 5 times 5, 25, 5 times 4. Now 5 times 6, that gives me 30, followed by 2 more zeros, 600 times 4. You know 6 4s are 24, followed by 2 zeros. So it is 2400. But the question is find the distance of CA if you are given multiple choice A, B, C, D. Like you may be given 2400, next 4400, 3600, some other number. Okay, so when you get the value of BC equals to 2400, you may get tempted to choose the answer 2400, which is not correct because the question is CA. So what is the length of CA means? This is all the way from C to A. So it is CB plus BA. So I see that CB just now we got as CB or BC, it's one and same, 2400. What is the length of BA or AB means that is 2000. So it is 4400 meters. So don't get tempted by looking at these options. You have to look at the question and see what the question is exactly. The correct answer is 4400.